Pavao Ritter Vitezović was a noted Habsburg-Croatian writer, diplomat, and expansionist advocate. Early life. Pavao Ritter Vitezović was born as Pavao Ritter in Say, the son of a frontier soldier. His father was a descendant of an ethnic German immigrant from Alsace, and his mother was Croat. He finished 6 grades of the Jesuit-run gymnasium in Zagreb before moving to Rome, where he stayed at the Illyrian College and met the renowned Dalmatian historian Ivan Lucic. He then moved to the castle of Bogensburg near the town of Litia in Carniola, where natural historian Johann Wakard von Valvassor influenced him to study his national history and geography. There he also learned German and the skills of printing and etching. Early writings. In 1677 he wrote a treatise on the clan Guzici, published in 1681. The same year he wrote a number of poems for Father Alexander Mikulic. His Zagreb canon. As he developed a reputation of a learned man, his native town of Say elected him as the representative in the Hungarian Diet in Sopron. On the 19th of April 1683, due to the efforts of Ritter Vitezović, the Diet proclaimed a charter granting the town of Say their ancient rights, protecting them from the local military commander Captain Herberstein, who had terrorized the citizens at the time. Because of the Ottoman Wars, he was enlisted and stationed in the Medimur-Utaba under Ban Nicholas Erdődy. In 1683, when the Great Turkish War started, he participated in the capture of the forts of Lendava and Sajidva. After the war, Ban Erdődy employed him as an officer of his court, where he also met Adam Zarinsky, the son of Nicholas Zarinsky. He was initially named the Podzupan of Lika, a purely honorable title with no actual significance. Then Croatian Parliament named him as the representative in the Imperial Commission for the delimitation with Venice and Turkey. But despite his contribution, the borderlines were drawn against Croatian interests, which greatly frustrated Ritter Vitezović. During his work at the Royal and Imperial Diets in Vienna and Bratislava, Vitezović met many dignitaries from Croatia, and at one point wished to return home to live in Zagreb. Later years. In 1690, he returned to Croatia, where he found out that there was a printing house in the Bishop's Palace in the city of Zagreb, acquired in 1663, but long since abandoned. He asked his longtime friend Alexander Mikulic, who had by that time been named bishop, to let him put it to use. He was soon in business, printing calendars and leaflets, and he appealed to the Croatian Parliament to give that printing house an official capacity. On the 11th of November 1694, the Parliament did indeed appoint him as the manager of the facility. He then proceeded to move it from the Vlaška Street to his house on GRIC, and then traveled to Vienna, where he bought a new printing press and everything else necessary for the printing of books. He named the new printing office the Museum and printed the first books in Latin and in Croatian. The printing house was in operation between 1695 and 1706, and his best-known work, Croatia Rediviva, was printed there in 1700. On the 14th of June 1706, the press was largely destroyed in a great fire, and Vitezovic's wife died 2 years later, rendering him entirely distraught. In 1710 he moved to Vienna, where he continued to publish, and was awarded an honorary title of a baron at the Austrian court. This, however, did not help his material status before he died in 1713. Legacy. Ritter Vitezović proposed an idea for orthography solution for the Croatian language, that every sound should have only one letter, and this idea later inspired the linguist Ludovic Gaj to reform the Croatian variant of Latin script and create Gaj's Latin alphabet. He created the Croatian exclusivist discourse within the early Illyrian movement and introduced the historical appropriation concept to the Balkans, which is actually an idea to claim national territory on the basis of the past conquests. He was the first ideologist of Croatian nation who proclaimed that all Slavs are Croats. The foundations of the concept of Greater Croatia are laid in Vitezovic's works. His works were used to legitimize the expansionism of the Habsburg Empire in southeastern Europe by asserting its historical rights to claim Illyria, a Slavic territory projected by Vitezović, would eventually incorporate not only most of southeastern Europe but also Hungary. Vitezović defined Croatian territory as including, besides Illyria and all Slavic populated territory, the territory between the Adriatic, Black and Baltic seas. He also wrote the first history of the Serbs, which remains in manuscript. He skillfully fabricated numerous genealogies and forged most of the Trophium Nobilissimi Domus Esther Asiani works.